Hello everyone, Ryan here. Happy 2022. Hope the year's off to a great start. It's January the 1st and I am kicking this year off with a case study video based on Olympus, OHM, and some popular forks of Olympus. And we're going to track them and see how they do and why over the course of a year. So I've basically taken $5,000, I put 1,000 in OHM, and I put 1,000 into four other popular OHM forks, which I like or I'm interested in for various reasons. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at why I chose them. We're going to look at the price I bought, how many tokens I got, and we're going to track how they do over the course of the year versus each other. And we're going to see why they go up, why they go down, how the price and high APYs and lower APYs interact with each other. And I'm going to show you the results. And we'll see how they do. Get a lot of questions about these OHM-based projects on social media and things like that because I tweet about them a bit. So we're going to look at how they work in real life versus each other. And I actually made these purchases, the 5 separate $1,000 purchases, a couple weeks ago in the middle of December. So we have a couple of weeks worth of results already. And then we're going to track how they do for the year. So let's have a look at what I bought and why. So firstly, OHM, obviously, it was the project that basically started this type of asset. So I want to see how does OHM do versus the popular forks. Does it outperform because it's more trusted and more stable? Or do these hot new forks outperform with more volatile price action and higher APYs and their little twists on the OHM the OHM kind of foundations? So OHM was the first one I chose, $1,000 in OHM. Second was $1,000 in Wonderland, which is Time. The reason I chose this was because it was, it's the second most popular fork after OHM. It also has its own ecosystem, so it's not just a carbon copy. It's basically part of the Danny DeFi Frog Nation ecosystem. So you have Abracadabra Spell, Wonderland Time, which is the OHM fork, and Popsicle, the MIM stablecoin. That ecosystem is really hot right now. It's on Avalanche, which is also very hot right now, and I've been liking a lot. So I want to see how this does over the course of the year. It has a lot higher APY. The APY has been anywhere from 60 to 90,000% APY over the course of the last few months, whereas OHM right now has recently reduced and is around 5,000-ish APY. So we want to see how these two compare to each other because they are, the two big players in this market, if you ask me. So you have $1,000 in OHM and $1,000 in Wonderland, which is Time. The next is Klima DAO. So I made a video about Klima DAO, basically the day it launched. I was lucky enough to get into the pre-sale pretty early on Klima DAO. Obviously, they're a carbon copy or a fork of OHM, but they have a very unique USP where they are basically trying to fill the treasury with, carbon offsets bought on chain, and they have the whole narrative about, trying to do something, affect the carbon offset market and make a real world impact in terms of climate change. So, that is an interesting narrative. We're yet to see how it's going to work, but it does have a lot of potential and it's something different that really any other OHM fork is doing. So I have a pretty sizable Klima position in my regular portfolio. So I wanted to add in Klima and see how it does versus OHM and Time. The next is going to be Rome DAO, okay, RomeDAO.finance. You may or may not have heard of this one, but it got pretty popular. It's launched on Moonriver, which I really like. I was lucky enough to be in the Kusama auctions and got into Moonriver that way, so I've kind of been tracking the ecosystem. And Rome is basically forked OHM on the Moonriver network. They built up a very passionate community very, very quickly, which really caught my eye, and I was kind of tracking this from the start. I didn't get into the pre-sale or anything like that or on the whitelist, but I do have some, and I've obviously bought $1,000 worth for this case study. And the thing I like about this is they're going to be doing a lot of stuff with gamification. Everything they've done is very feels high level and is very, very polished. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with their game and how that affects it and how they're able to market that, because I think if they get the whole RPG strategy side going and it actually works, then this could generate a lot of traction and do really, really well. So I think this one is fairly unique compared to a lot of the other OHM forks. So I wanted to include this one. APY on this one right now is somewhere between off the top of my head, like 180, 190,000%, something like that. We'll have a look in a sec. Now, the fifth one I chose is a bit of a wild card, and this is Jade. Now, Jade just kind of went on a tear out of the gate. I didn't get in early or anything like that, but it generated so much hype, and they had crazy high APY. So I wanted to put one in that had like an insane APY that was definitely not sustainable. Like this was in the millions. So it was just like a marketing gimmick to get people in, and I kind of wanted to see like what is this going to do versus the other, when everybody knows it's just being marketed hard, it's not sustainable. Like how's this gonna compare? And they've made a whole bunch of changes with their strategy. They're trying to do like the whole decentralized investment fund type thing now, and I think right now they've turned off the rebases for a while, so it's all crazy. The price has dropped, so I'm kind of seeing if these guys can recover this over the course of the year and how it compares. So those are the five: $1,000 in Ohm, $1,000 in Wonderland Time, $1,000 in Klima DAO, $1,000 in Rome DAO Finance, and $1,000 in Jade, and Jade is on the Binance Smart Chain. Okay, so now look at the prices I got in at, and how it's doing, how many tokens I got, and how it's performing, and things like that. So actually, I have okay, this is my little notes of where I bought, how many I got, and things like that. So you can screenshot this, and I'll put this in the description. But this is basically the prices, how much I got, and what the APY was at the time I got in. But I want to show you the charts. So when I did this in the middle of December, these forks were going through, like, it was a bloodbath. They were all getting hit. The charts looked horrible. So I thought, oh, maybe this would be an interesting time to just jump in, throw a bit of money in, see if we can like catch some bottoms maybe, and see if they can recover. So I got in somewhere around like the 370 mark here, middle of December, dropped a lot after, went up, and has been bleeding out again. Reason for that is right now Ohm is going through a switch to version 2. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of FUD. People don't really understand it. A lot of the stats are not updating in the dashboard. So it's kind of been bleeding out a little bit. It's lost this kind of like hot narrative for a while. But I'm confident they're going to keep building and do great stuff in 2022. So I'm still bullish on Ohm, and I expect this to do very well. Time I actually got a great position in. So I managed to pretty much get the bottom at somewhere around 29.50, middle of December. Since then, it's kind of gone up to over 3,600. So my time position is doing pretty well for this case study. Klima looked like it was kind of, it was in a pretty bad downtrend. It looked like it was bottoming out a bit, but it continued to fall a little bit more. So got into Klima around the 360, 370 mark. It's now down to 50, 260. But again, I'm excited about what Klima is going to be doing for this year. Rome is probably the best performer so far. I bought here, so around the 300, 310 mark, 15th of December. It fell a bit more, but then bounced back. There was a lot of excitement about this game and what they're going to do with the marketing for the game and things like that. Like I said, that was the reason I was interested. Now it's almost $500 for Rome, so this one has done pretty well. And then Jade was the wild card. I didn't know much about it, apart from it had so much hype and an insane APY. This one got crushed. I thought when I bought it, I was like, okay, this is a bottom. Look at this. We got a nice support here. We had a little bit of a trend line going on. So I bought here. I thought, oh, this might be a good buy. A few days later, it was looking good. But then after that, they had a lot of FUD in their community. A whole bunch of people like stopped believing in it, and it just got crushed. So they're about to announce some plans for what they're going to do and how they're going to make it recover. So we'll see if they get back there. But I'm down big on Jade right now for this case study. I don't have Jade in my own portfolio. The only ones I have in my own portfolio are Ohm, Wonderland Time, and Klima. Not sure if I have Rome anymore. I might have a little bit. If I do, it's not a lot. But Ohm, Time, and Klima are my main ones. Okay, so let's have a look at the performance. This is the wallet on DBank. So you can see this is actually real. This is a real wallet that I've made just for this. I'm not making this up. So remember, I started with $1,000 in each of these. So Rome is over doubled. So $2,100. Time is up over 60%. to 1600. Klima is down a little bit to 850, and Jade is just crushed down to 230. Ohm is not in here for some reason. It doesn't track, something to do with the V2 transition, but I'll bring those numbers up in a minute. And so what we're going to be looking at really is, okay, the price can go down, but can we make up those gains with like the APY and things like that? So Rome has done really, really well. The price has gone up a little bit, but the APY is like 200,000% or something, or 180. So it will be really interesting to see how this pans out. Here are the original stats. This is hard to read, crappy spreadsheet. I will make this look a bit better, but I've just made this for my own use for now. I'll make this more visually appealing. So this date is wrong. This should be December the 15th, which is when I bought these, 2021. So these are the amounts I bought, 2.7 ohm. I've now got 3.2. It's how much time I bought, how much I've got now, how much Klima I bought, how much I've got now. And you can see my Rome, it's increased over 30%, well over 30% actually, just from the rebases. So is Jade, but the price has fallen off so much that I've lost money. So overall, the whole portfolio, the $5,000 portfolio, 1,000 in each, is up 17% for a gain of $852 in exactly 2 weeks. Okay, so Ohm's lost a little bit, Time has gained 67%, Klima's lost a little bit, Rome is over doubled, and Jade just got absolutely hammered. Okay, so we will see how this does through the course of the year. In terms of other Ohm forks, I'm not looking at any right now. I feel like the narrative for new ones launching is kind of getting a bit tired. The whole crazy APY thing worked for a while, and then people just sell, and people have caught onto it now. The only one I'm potentially looking at getting into is Redacted Cartel, which is Butterfly, which I will do a video about shortly, because I don't have it now, but you can pretty much assume I'm going to get into that at some point. Outside of that, I'm not looking at any other Ohm forks right now. I have my main 3 in my portfolio, which I said, and these are my holdings for this case study. So if you have any questions about Ohm forks, how they work, any particular ones, let me know in the comments below. Don't show me any other Ohm forks, because I've spent too much time looking at them. I'm not interested in any others. I have the ones I like. I'm going to get into Redacted. And so that is it for now. I will keep updating this. We might do something fun with the funds from this case study later on in the year if it does well, and do a giveaway or something. I'm not sure yet, but I just thought that this might be interesting for people to see. So let me know any questions below in the comments, and we'll review this in a couple of weeks, or on the next video or something like that, and just keep up to date and see how this is doing, and we will go from there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.